ਅੱਜ ਖਾਸ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ ਪੈਟਰਿਕ ਬਰਾਊਨ, ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰ। ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਨੇ, ਪਰ ਇਸ ਵੇਲੇ ਇਹ ਰਨ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਲੀਡਰ ਦੇ ਲਈ। ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਚੋਣ ਹੋਣੀ ਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਲੀਡਰ ਦੀ ਦੌੜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਦੌੜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਾਮਲ ਹੋ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਾਣ ਪਛਾਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਕਿ 22 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ 2000 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਸਿਟੀ ਕੌਂਸਲਰ ਵਜੋਂ ਚੁਣੇ ਗਏ ਸੀ। ਉਹਦੇ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਬਣੇ, ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਮੇਅਰ ਬਣੇ ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਪੋਲੀਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। Good morning and welcome to the show, Patrick.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on the show.
So the first question is, 22 years ago you elected as a city councillor, and then provincial politics, then federal politics, then again city. Now you are running for the leader for Conservative Party. What is the reason behind this and why this switching?
Well, I've enjoyed, and it's been a privilege to serve at every level of government. It's taught me where there are gaps in the system to serve Canadians, where we need to find solutions. Right now, I'm running for the leadership of the Conservative Party because I believe Ottawa desperately needs change, whether it's the revolving door justice system that protects the rights of criminals more than they do the rights of victims. I'm running because there is a financial mess in Ottawa that needs to be cleaned up. The Prime Minister is spending at a rate that is going to create a burden on generations of Canadians. He has no sense of responsible finances. I'm running because I want to have a Canadian Prime Minister that will actually stand up for religious freedom. Right now, our Prime Minister is allowing minority communities in Quebec to be discriminated against. The fact that you can't wear a hijab, a turban, a cross, a kippah, and be a government worker in Quebec is offensive. We shouldn't allow second-class citizenship in our country. We should stand up for all Canadians. So I'm running to be the leader of the Conservative Party because I want to build a big tent Conservative Party that can win the next election and build a better future for Canadians.
And there is a common perception in the Punjabi community particularly. They think this Conservative Party, this is anti-immigration. Do you agree with the immigration policy of Justin Trudeau or the Liberal
Listen,
Party?
I'm the mayor of Brampton, Ontario, which is probably the most diverse community in the country. I'm a big supporter of immigration. It's one of the success stories of Canada. If anything, I believe Justin Trudeau has created too much bureaucracy within immigration. You look at the backlog now. It has huge consequences on the country. So let me give you an example. Right now we have massive shortages in skilled trades, yet Justin Trudeau has made it so impossible, so difficult, so arduous to bring people into Canada. I want to make sure that those pathways are open, that we can have the skill shortages addressed, we can make it easier for family reunification. And I'd go further. You know, in moments of adversity, Justin Trudeau has been absent. You look at the plight of Afghan Sikhs, and we've had a government that was tone deaf, that wasn't there to help. I'm going to be a Prime Minister that fundamentally supports immigration, understanding that it is an integral component of our country's success.
So we can expect more liberal immigration policy?
I wouldn't call it liberal immigration. I would call it Canadian immigration. We're going to expand immigration because that's what Canada needs. And every week I meet residents who have come to Canada with nothing but the shirt on their back and built companies and success and prosperity and jobs and prosperity. So I'm a big believer in immigration. We're going to expand immigration in this country. We're going to particularly focus on the skilled trades, and I'm going to stop the bureaucracy and the red tape that has really obstructed our immigration system under Justin Trudeau.
So in last few elections, people, they didn't support the Conservatives. There is a perception that there is a clear-cut division, or within the party there is something going on. So do you agree, and what will you do to handle this?
Well, I'm a different type of conservative, and my approach is going to be one that's a big tent, that we fight for every Canadian. It doesn't matter who you love, where you're born, the color of your skin, what God you worship. I'm going to fight for every Canadian. And frankly, where the party has lost the last few elections, it's been in suburban Canada, places like Vancouver and the Greater Toronto area. You need a leader who's got real relationships, a real understanding of the mosaic that is Canada. And I'm that candidate. I've always fought for Canadians. I've always fought for Canadians from every walk of life, and that's what I intend to do federally.
And what do you think, what are the more reasons for this Conservatives' defeat in last elections?
You know, there's a number of reasons, but they didn't have the relationships in suburban Canada. And you know, I understand the challenges that exist in the community. I've been involved from the outset. You know, there's if you live with the community, you work with the community. If you live in the GTA, you understand. If you live in suburban Canada, you understand it. And we need a Conservative Party that will be a ferocious voice for what's right around the world. You know, I look at the farmers' protest. I was the first Canadian politician to stand with the community.
You're right.
I look at the Tamil genocide. I was the first person to talk about the genocide in the House of Commons, asking for a boycott of the Commonwealth in Sri Lanka. And I look at issues that have affected Canadians in our multicultural mosaic, and I've always been there for them. And we need a Conservative leader that will fight for every Canadian, that will fight for human rights, that will fight for justice, and will be a voice for fairness. And I'm that candidate.
And now the NDP, they are supporting Liberals. Mm-hmm. So do you think this is good for the nation?
Well, the first thing I say, hide your wallet, okay? Because the country is going to be broke. And right now, Justin Trudeau was already taking the country on the verge of bankruptcy. Now that he's agreed to all the NDP spending initiatives, you know, I really worry about our ability to function as a country financially. You would never run a company this way. You'd never run a small business this way. The debt loads he's taking on, you know, he's going to put Canada in a structural deficit. We're going to have debt levels that will suffocate our ability to support key services. When you spend so much of your budget on interest payments, it crouches out your ability to support key areas that Canadians expect.
And what is your take on Canada's foreign policy, particularly on this Russia-Ukraine conflict?
Well, listen, what's happening in Ukraine is devastating. The Russian invasion is barbaric. And Vladimir Putin is certainly earning the reputation as an international pariah and war criminal. And Canada should be there to support our allies in Ukraine.
And any message for our viewers of the channel Punjabi?
Well, I'd hope you get involved in this leadership campaign. This leadership campaign will help elect a Canadian Prime Minister. We know the Liberals are on the last years of this government, and this is an opportunity to build an inclusive Conservative Party. And if you want to get involved in the leadership campaign, anyone that signs up before June 3rd gets a vote in the leadership. You can go to my website, which is fighterleaderwinner.ca, to sign up. And I hope you'll join me in this journey to build a better Canada.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick, for joining us. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
ਸੋ ਦੋਸਤੋ, ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਪੈਟਰਿਕ ਬਰਾਊਨ ਹੋਣਾ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ। ਇਹ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਰੇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਸੁਣੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਇਹ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਆ, ਇਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵਸ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਰਟਿਸਿਪੇਟ ਕਰੋ।
ਸਾਡਾ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇਖਣ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜਨ ਲਈ ਸਬਸਕ੍ਰਾਈਬ ਕਰੋ ਚੈਨਲ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਤੇ ਨੋਟੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਬੈਲ ਆਈਕਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਬਟਨ ਤੇ ਕਲਿੱਕ ਕਰੋ।